Wendy is corny, and whatever Nneka said she did that ish. Whatever she said her mama did, her mama did. Because Wendy was acting too guilty. Eddie was stuttering and avoiding and acting guilty as well. Whatever Nneka said happened, they did that. Y'all pull your heads out of Wendy's butt for 5 seconds, y'all will realize that there is definite truth in what Nneka is saying. So, okay. What's good, y'all? I'm Tammy. Welcome back to the channel, Tammy Talks. Let's talk Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 8, Episode 4, in a Pickle. If you're brand new to the channel, I break down TV shows one recap at a time, interjecting my own thoughts, opinions, and theories into each and every recap. So, if you enjoy that type of content, go ahead, hit the subscribe button. Thumbs up the video if you enjoy it, and then hop in the comments as you guys always do and leave your thoughts and opinions about the episode, or anything that I might have missed in the recap. So let's get started. It starts off with Nneka picking up her husband, Ike, from the airport. So they're trying to align their schedules around when she is ovulating because she wants to get pregnant. We've heard them talk about this. She really wants to get pregnant, so that's what they're working towards. While they're driving home, Karen calls her and invites her and Ike to go play pickleball with some of the other ladies. We got to have a cast event to integrate, I should say, you guys into the cast more. So, Nneka is saying that prior to the housewarming, Wendy's family actually called Nneka's cousin, and that's where all this back and forth started to happen. So, like I said last week, for one, y'all, I know the difference between knowing somebody and meeting somebody. That's not what I said. Wendy has said both. So for y'all to say, oh, I forgot, she forgot what she said in the confessionals, y'all don't give that grace or use that excuse for anybody else. Okay? Y'all would never allow Jazelle or Robyn or Ashley to get away with that excuse. Let's keep it real, y'all. So Wendy has said both. In one episode, she said that she doesn't know her. Another episode, she has said, I've met her in passing. Or she said, I've met her. She has also said, I've seen her in passing. Wendy has changed the story every single time she is asked about her. So, prior to the housewarming, Nneka's cousin-in-law called, or apparently got a phone call from Wendy's sister, Ivy, and said that, Nneka was using Wendy's name to try to get into the group or something of the sort. Now, could there be truth to that? Yeah, it could be. It could very well be that Nneka was going around telling people she, has 6 degrees of separation to Wendy. She has a connect to Wendy. She has a lifeline to Wendy somehow to get cast on the show. That's very probable. But what this also shows is that this was going on, whatever this beef is between these two families, before Ashley got involved or before Ashley even had that conversation. So Nneka is also saying that apparently her husband Ike and Eddie went to school together. They college together. They were both in the African American group. And right after this situation, the phone call from Wendy's mother, Eddie unfriended him on Facebook. Now that seems awful deliberate, right? That doesn't seem like and it could be coincidence, but it could not be. You know what I mean? I personally don't just sit and go through, and I've had my Facebook for years at this point, right? Well over 20 years. I have never gone in my Facebook and then just randomly unfriended a person just to be unfriending them. So there's some connection between these two families. We get Robyn and Gizelle. So they're meeting up for dinner. And Giselle's talking about how Grace is going to be leaving for school soon. It makes her sad. She don't want to talk about it. It's funny to see how Jazelle is a girl mom. Robyn is a boy mom. And Robyn is always like, yeah, the breaks and bones and all that stuff. And Jazelle is just looking at her like, yeah, can't relate, but I'm gonna say I get it. So they talk about going to Karen's pickleball event, and Robyn is like, I don't care what the other ladies think about me and Juan. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Because people that truly don't care don't say it. They don't bring it up. You do care, and that's why we see you next week sitting on the curb crying. You do care, Robyn. And the moment that you start to be real and you start to admit that this is bothering you, the freer you'll feel, the lighter you feel, the better you'll breathe. Like, you'll feel better about yourself. But if you want to keep living in this ball of, disaster, keep doing this, sis. That's on you. So apparently the ladies is in Jazelle and Robin were in Atlanta for a Reasonable Shady live show. Juan was there, I guess, with Robin, because she can't leave him home because he gonna go out walking the streets of Georgetown to find him another lady. So they're down there, and I guess Juan and Jazelle had a conversation. Jazelle is saying that Juan was yelling at her, saying that I didn't have sex with this woman, and Jazelle feels that this stemmed from Robyn saying Jazelle doesn't believe you, which it 1,000% did stem from that. Robyn said Juan is just hard of hearing. And because he's hard of hearing from years of yelling and stuff with coaching, that he just talks loud. I did hit the mic on my mouth. I know y'all heard that. Come on, Robyn. Come on, Robyn. Come on, Robyn. Play with somebody else's. This is why I could never be on one of these shows, because I would definitely be like, play with somebody else. Like, that doesn't even make sense. That doesn't even make sense. But okay, and even Jazelle was like, oh, he's hard of hearing. But it is also interesting how Jazelle is like, well, I don't have anything else to say about it. I'm done. Nah, keep it going. Keep it going, Jizzy. I mean, hell, let's be real. You kept, you stood on your story that Chris made you feel away. Stand on this. Juan was yelling at you. Go and tell every single lady that you can on this cast. Make sure you sit down and tell everybody. Tell Karen, tell Mia, tell Ashley, I guess that's hard to talk to you. Tell everybody else on the cast that Juan was yelling at you. I believe he was yelling. Robyn heard that man yelling, and Robyn is letting Juan yell at Jazelle because Robyn does not want to yell at Jazelle. Robyn let Juan be her mouthpiece in that moment. Jazelle is not stupid, so Jazelle, picked up on it. But Jazelle is really trying to be your friend, Robyn. But hey, whatever. So Robyn then switches gears and they start talking about Nneka and what she told her when they, sat down about how her cousin is close friends with Wendy's sister, and that Wendy's sister is mad that Nneka is saying that she knows Wendy. And then that's when she starts mentioning the shrine and all that type of stuff. Jazelle says she wants no parts of that. By her being an ex-first lady, she knows that shrines and stuff like that are real. People do have shrines and different things like that. So she says she has no parts of that. She also said that she hopes it's a lie, or wants to believe that it is a lie. So I'll say this. I don't have a comment on whether or not I think that her mom has a shrine or anything like that. I'm not going to speak on anybody's religion or anything like that, but I do wholeheartedly believe that Wendy's mom got involved and caught her cousin. I do believe that, because we have seen Wendy's mom kind of overstep in general. There is always a mother on these reality shows that comes in with a vengeance, kind of with a point to prove that, yep, I'm going to defend my child at all costs, which, the majority, I say the average mother does, but there's always one on these shows. And since Candace's mother has fallen back and Mama Dot done really got herself together, I feel like Wendy's mom is ready to get activated and has been ready to be activated. So we get to Candace and her mom actually, and her Candace is telling her mom that Chris was screaming at her about the money that they were spending on the tour. They play back the scene, and Chris was not screaming at you, but okay. So her mother said, "Well, what is Chris doing right now?" And Candace said, "Well, he's doing virtual cooking classes, and I think he's still a private chef." And her mom was like, "Is he making money from it?" And Candace is like, "Nope, not at all. Not making any money." But I think what her mom was trying to get at is the money that you're spending on the tour the money that you're making from the show? Or is it money that you're getting from your shows, recycling it back into your career? Because if we're not touching Chris's pocket, why does Chris care? That's what I think her mom was getting at. So Candace acknowledges that she does have a double standard within their marriage. You remember when Chris owned a restaurant, Candace spent a lot of time complaining about the fact that Chris was never home, he was working late hours and all this other type of stuff. And now she's the one that's gone all the time and working. And her response to that is simply, "But I miss him though." And it's like, why don't you just let that man go back to working at a restaurant? I guess that was the thing. We never quite got the story as to why he no longer manages you. But if he wants to go back and start working at the restaurant or doing something like that, let him. You're not home anyway, so what difference does it make? But I guess. Her mom then asked about her and Robyn. Candace feels the way that Robyn was straddling the fence. My take on that situation, and I stand very firm on this, if Jazelle said she felt uncomfortable, Jazelle felt uncomfortable. Like, I don't understand why that was such a lie. The issue with what Jazelle did was Jazelle said that Chris was acting like a sneaky link. That was the issue. That was the complete and utter issue in that situation. But Robyn did defend Chris all up until Candace was mad that Robyn said, let's all agree that a married man should not be in a room with a single woman. I agree with that too. I agree with that too. I think the husbands are interacting with the women too much in any capacity. There was absolutely no reason for Chris to go to Giselle's hotel room or wherever they were to dressing room to have a conversation. There was literally no reason for that, whether Jazelle asked him to or whether Chris asked her to. They both were in the wrong about that. If she felt uncomfortable, I think she's well within her rights to feel uncomfortable. If somebody comes in here now and it's one of my friend's husbands or whatever, I have a right to say I feel uncomfortable. So Candace is really mad that Robyn didn't call out Jazelle for saying that she felt uncomfortable. Her mother then told her that Candace, that she holds on to things for too long. And I think everybody on these shows do. Aside from the way that, y'all have drugged Jazelle at every reunion, it's like Jazelle just don't be fucking prepared. She just show up and hope for the best, I guess. But some of the stuff that was said at the last reunion, I'm not surprised that these women aren't speaking. I'm not surprised that these women are speaking. They said a lot of low down shit to each other at the last reunion. It was horrible. It was cringy to watch from all sides. That reunion was crazy, the way that they were talking to each other. So why should they be speaking? You know what I mean? So Candace is mad about that. Her mom said they all just need to have a conversation. And Candace is like, well, adults don't lie. And it's like, girl, what the fuck are you talking about? Adults absolutely do lie. So we get to the pickleball event. Karen brought pickles for each table. Her and Ray are dressed in green. I said, Karen? I feel like I didn't know what pickleball was until we was trying to figure out what was going on with Jamie Foxx. And now pickleball is just everywhere. Like, it is in your face. I feel like every reality show that I have watched since the Jamie Foxx situation, they are playing pickleball on. But okay. So Karen tells Jazelle that she's enjoying her as of lately, then brings up in the confessional that Jason is never around. Even Jamal lived in her phone, but Jason is never around. I guess this is my thing. Why do y'all care? If anybody doesn't bring their husband around on this show, I guess I don't understand why it matters, right? Jazelle is not gonna bring that fuck buddy around y'all so that y'all can get into her business. But it's also like, Karen, you be saying you don't want anybody talking about your institution, but you never, ever, 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 ever miss an opportunity to talk about Jazelle being single at these events. But so Candace and Wendy come. They don't speak to Jazelle or Mia and vice versa. Understood. Like I've said all season, I don't blame anybody for not speaking based on how they were talking to each other. Some of the things they were saying, like they drug Jazelle. So I don't know why, they would. But I think that Candace makes a bigger deal about the not speaking than Jazelle does. Jazelle does make faces, but Candace be like, there's an evil spirit. It's like Candace gives people too much energy. If you're going to ignore somebody, ignore them. You don't have to come in, I'm not speaking to this person. You don't have to do all that. Just don't speak to them. Jazelle says in her confessional she has nothing to say to Candace after the way Candace was talking about her dwindling uterus and saying that, she's uses her proximity to white when Candace is married to a whole white man. It's crazy to say. When Candace will have kids that there's a possibility that they will look white passing. It's weird that Candace even goes there with Jazelle and Robin, but okay. So Karen decides she's going to put everybody on teams. So she puts Wendy, Mia, and Nneka on a team. And then she puts Candace, Ashley, and Jazelle on a team. I feel like if y'all are gonna film together, y'all gonna have to be around each other. Y'all are all on the show, or they are going to have to fire some people. I've said before, I think Candace has outgrown the show. If you're out making music and doing all this other stuff, you really don't need to be on the show. And Wendy is just too good for the show. Wendy is honestly just too good for the show. I don't care for Wendy, but her accolades, you're too good for this show. Why are you on this? Because this isn't doing anything for Wendy's image. It's not helping Wendy in any way. It's passive income. Nah, she working for this. It's just like an extra check, but I don't know. That's me. So everybody's being childish. Nobody wants to talk, which is fine. Robyn and Juan come in. The shady confessionals. Why is Juan here? Mia said he ain't got no job. It's either watch TV or come play pickleball. You got your fucking nerve, Mia. You don't have no job either. You or Gordon. The audacity. Oh my God. Wendy and Candice seem to be bothered that when that so many names are here, that Robyn and Juan have walked in. Candice doesn't understand why Robyn has an issue with her. Girl, you have spent the entire off season dragging her, calling her a fraud, calling her a phony, calling for her to be fired from the show, saying that she's a liar, saying that she was deflecting. You have been dragging her, and you don't understand why she has an issue with you. But see, Candice feels that she can say anything she wants, and they're just words, and my words cut and cut to the bone. And then Candice expects people to be over stuff when she's over it. Robyn is well within her rights to not want to say shit to you, Candice. Why are you confused? Like, seriously, why are you confused at the fact that she don't want to talk to you? Okay. I feel like Candice is still tweeting about them. Candice has always been Twitter fingers. But okay. So Karen thanks everybody for coming. Thanks Robyn for showing up. Robyn gets mad. Shut up, Robyn, because you looked real stupid. What are you mad for? She's thanking you for coming because the two of y'all have issues. That's why she's thanking you for coming. Juan gets up and walks away, and it's like, y'all are made for each other. Y'all both weird as fuck. Ashley brings up the fact that a message that she delivered between Nneka and Wendy was lost in translation. She apologizes, she cleared it up, and Nneka thanks her. Candace says, so are y'all okay now? Talking to Wendy and Nneka. Nneka said that she's aware of the phone call that Wendy's mom made about putting her name on a shrine. Because they both said, I don't have a problem with you. I don't have a problem with you. Kind of like Nneka started saying it, then Wendy jumped in and said it as well. Candace's face was me, a shrine. Candace's face with me, I promise y'all. So Wendy's face told me that her mama did that. That's what Wendy's face told me. Wendy walking around and being just the first ever Catholic is reminding me of girlfriends. Remember when Tony took that HIV test and she had that little Jesus piece that she was walking around with because she thought that she was gonna come back with the HIV. That's how Wendy is acting. Wendy's entire face told me that you know your mama did it, you know what happened, you didn't expect her to bring it up. What this is telling me is while Ashley didn't help the situation, there is beef, there is drama, there is tension between these two families before Nneka even got her ass on the show. Before she got on the show. So earlier, when Jazelle and Robin were talking, Jazelle was saying, why does it matter? Or like they're from the same tribe. Like, does Wendy want to be the only Nigerian in the group? Kind of trying to figure out why they would have beef. And I know everybody is like trying to blame this on them when it really seems like Nneka might have been name dropping Wendy to get on the show. It might not have to do with it might have to do with the Green Eye Bandits. Might not have to do with Ashley. It could have just been Nneka going around name dropping Wendy as I know her in proximity. We have mutual whatever to get on the show. That's what it seems like was going on. Wendy's family caught wind of it. Wendy's sister, more importantly, caught wind of it, knows her cousin and said, hey, tell your cousin keep my family name out her mouth. That's what it seems like happened. Ashley just didn't help. Ashley didn't help the situation. But like I said too, it seemed like as soon as Wendy left Ashley's house, she got in that car and called her mama right away. Instead of talking to Nneka, she got in the car and called her mother right away. Why? Because there was already drama between the two of them. So Wendy and Nneka are going back and forth. Nneka is trying to tell her that you were on the phone with your cousin. You were on the phone with your sister when you called my cousin. And Wendy is like, that's a lie. So then Nneka kind of flipped it a little bit and was like, well, you were on three-way, whatever the case. So Wendy was like, clear it up. And Nneka said, I'm trying to clear it up, bitch. And I said, whoa. Now, I don't like Wendy, I've said that I don't care for her, but that was unnecessary. That was unnecessary, Nneka, because if she'd have reached over that table, then what? You ain't have to call that lady no bitch. That was unnecessary. So Wendy then says to pull up the phone records, and Bravo said, that's okay, we'll put it on the screen for y'all. Now, granted, that could have been anybody's name attached to that phone call, so we don't have that proof, and they're not going to show I don't think the phone number was shown, but that was the proof. The funny part, though, is Karen going over to Jazelle and saying, this is your fault to mess with her. Jazelle was like, no, it's not. This ain't got nothing to do with me. But I've seen comments saying that this is Jazelle and Robin's fault, and I'm like, I know that y'all hate these women, but my God, y'all can't tell that this is clearly stemming from something before the show started? Okay. So, Wendy then said that Nneka is hating on her for everything, and Wendy gets up and starts strolling back and forth, and it's like, girl, sit your ass down. So Candiace said that Wendy is not responsible for what her mother and her sister do, and that's true. That's facts. That is facts. If Wendy's mom and her sister Ivy are doing all of this stuff, that does not have anything to do with Wendy. It doesn't. So Wendy then said that because of the conversation between Ashley and Nneka, that this is how the whole Ebo thing got started. And Ashley is like, we just squashed that. Why would you bring that up? You shouldn't have brought it up, Ashley. That's on you. That is on you. Wendy then said that her mom worships the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and the only shrine that she knows of is in downtown Baltimore where she goes to church. And Nneka said, yeah, by day your mom does, by night she does. I said, Lord. I just feel like this is like hitting very personal. This seems very personal. This does not just seem like, you know what I mean? It seems personal. So Robyn is like, well, y'all can just work this out, because honestly, it should be solved by just us having a conversation to get to the bottom of it. So Wendy is like, no, I want to work it out with Mia. I said, girl, I know you fucking lying. And when Nneka said that she is deflecting, Wendy is. You can tell that Wendy was not prepared to have this conversation. And I think I need Dr. Wendy to realize she's filming a reality show, and you got to have your shit straight. Now, if you are going to sit on the fact that your mama didn't do nothing and this lady is lying on you and everything like that, you know what your mama did. You should have been prepared. You should have been prepared for this, Wendy. So Wendy gets up and goes to talk to Mia, and everybody is like, Mia, the same Mia that you called slow and stupid last week and said that your pop culture YouTube channel that's going to be mixed in with politics is going to go over her head. That same Mia, the same one that you said you would never talk to, that you would never be cool with because she threw a drink on you and then hit you with her purse, you want to clear it up with that Mia rather than have a conversation with Nneka right now and clear up the fact that your mama isn't like praying against her? Okay. So Wendy goes over and tells Mia, I don't think we've ever called each other bitch. And it's like, what is going on? So Mia wants them to at least be able to coexist with one another and be good. And Mia's just like, okay, because Mia doesn't know what's going on either. So Candace and Nneka are talking, and while this is going on, Juan's big ass falls into the fence and knocks over the sterno cans, and now there's a fire. And then while everybody is screaming, woo, the fire, and Candace is yelling about demons, Wendy is doing the electric slide. And I said, what is going on? Wendy, you're not beating these allegations. Wendy, you're not beating these allegations, sis. So Karen then asked Juan if he set the event on fire on purpose. I wrote down, Wendy is corny. Because I think Wendy is corny. So then Mia asked Eddie if he knows Nneka's husband, because I heard you unfollowed him on Facebook, because they're all talking about this. Eddie said, when did I unfollow you on Facebook? So then Ike is like, so we were not friends on Facebook. That's what you're saying. And Eddie is like, when, I said, come on, Happy Eddie, get it out, bruh. Get it out. You can tell Eddie is lying. So then it becomes, you're talking about Facebook? No. Let's not lose the point behind this. This is not just about Facebook. This is about the fact that your mother allegedly called and threatened her and did all this other stuff, and then the very next day, Eddie went and unfollowed him. Somebody that he went to college with, somebody that he knows of, before y'all say he doesn't know him, somebody that he knows of and was in close proximity with. But we're not going to act like back during that time when Facebook started that we weren't just adding everybody, okay? But it seems very deliberate and a huge coincidence that right after this, while this is going on, you would go and unfriend him. But I would like to ask you, Ike, why did you go to Eddie's page? I don't know who's unfriended me on Facebook. I don't know who's unfollowed me on Instagram. I would never know, because I don't randomly go to people's pages to check that. So Nneka and Wendy are going back and forth again. And it's something about, say something else about my mama. Yo, mama, say something else about my mama. And Nneka said, your mother's a witch. I said, Jesus. So she calls her a witch. And then we see Wendy dancing and stuff again. Wendy's getting a crazy edit this episode, but like I said before too, whatever they said Wendy Mama did, I think she did that shit because Wendy is acting too guilty. Eddie is acting too guilty. They're stuttering. They're talking in circles. They're deflecting. Y'all know what happened. Y'all don't want to admit it. And this season is about to get crazy unnecessarily. But let me know what you guys thought about this episode. If you have not already, don't forget, subscribe to the channel, thumbs up the video, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.